Okay. So, doing another bottle run. I'm gonna make this episode quick as well. But, there was a bit of street theater yesterday. Some lady in a McDonald's or whatever was like going ape shit and talking about how about 55 years or she's been stuck in Michigan and she had a calling and all this other shit. And I was like, man, what? I paid that shit no attention. I just went and I ordered my food or whatever. And I guess like the manager or whatever was trying to like tell her to keep it down, or was willing to put her and her mother out of the McDonald's or whatever, because we were in the lobby or whatever. And I guess it turned into like this big ass scene or whatever. And I was like peeping game in the shit that she said, trying to like make out like different parts of it or whatever. She said a lot in like a small little frame of time, but it was just out the blue for no apparent reason. But I don't know, it was like some type of strong concern or whatever that she was talking about. I kind of related to it, kind of didn't. I just left it alone. And so the manager came out. She was like, you got to keep it down. You got to quiet down. Miss, no cussing, no profanity, blah, blah, blah. And then her mother was like, oh, you heard her twice. You heard her twice. She's going to kick you out, blah, blah, blah. She's going to kick you out. And so she was like, I'm going to leave. But the whole time, everybody in the McDonald's was like listening to what she had to say or whatever, especially me, because she was talking about how like, just generally like 55 years or 60 years, what the fuck ever the case may be, right? She's been stuck in Michigan, I think specifically Detroit, and she's been trying to get out. And I was like, and then she also threw in something in there where it was like, there's a calling on my life and blah, blah, blah. And I start kind of paying attention to it, because normally this lady, she seemed a bit coherent and less incoherent, I guess. And so she just started blurting off at the mouth and talking about how there was a calling in her life and she's been stuck here and she can't figure out why. And I kind of wanted to budge in and tell her, like, because you're afraid to leave. You're afraid of the risk that comes with not having anything. You're afraid of being homeless, That's what this gang stalking shit is. That's what this surveillance shit is. There's a calling on your life to either do something great or to restore balance in the family by leaving the dysfunctional family and proving that you can leave the dysfunctional family. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody's cut out for the shit. I get it. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. The shit was so damn dysfunctional. I walked into the bathroom. I knocked a couple times. I knocked a couple times to let somebody know that was in the bathroom know that I was going in there. And it was my nephew watching pornography, playing with his private part. And so I closed the door. I'm like, I didn't really tell anybody about him playing with his private part and watching porn. I just walked out. And as soon as, I was like, I ain't like that. I don't really do like. His mother, my sister, felt the need to jump to some type of defense or whatever. Like I was trying to say he was gay, but she didn't really have a full scoop of what was going on. And I think she kind of been told once and ignored it, whatever. But, that was one of the things going on. Then my mother, obviously the one who was the original scapegoat, or one of them, because I think two children of my grandmother's were scapegoats, which is my mother and my uncle, except both of them got it bad. Both of them were the black sheep, not just one. So I'm gonna have to research that. Like, yo, can there be two? Can there be multiple black sheeps? Because in my family, there's two. There was two, and now it's just one. Now it's just me. Everything is aimed towards me, but they're still under the same psychological warfare, the same mental prison, this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 right? And so, what was it? My uncle was firing, little cheap shots, this, that, and the third. My niece and my nephew were going back and forth, and they were teasing she was teasing my nephew, whose father is incarcerated, like, hi, you don't even get to talk to your daddy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, shit, that's ugly, like, damn, you ain't have to say all that. And my sister, she agreed, but, that's the kind of day-to-day bullshit that they be on or whatever. And I was just like, man, fuck. I'm coming over here to eat. I'm coming over here to play it cool, play it off normal. And I got to deal with these motherfuckers. I got to deal with my mother being undermined and not respected and talked over and that whole ordeal. I got to deal with, my grandmother trying to pretend to love me and give me all these random I love yous and shit. And, every now and then I got to go tick for tat with her. I got to go tick for tat with her. I got to let her know and establish boundaries, establish grounds like, hey, there's a response in there. There's somebody in there. I've got to go back and forth with her. I've got to. Because, she's the type of person, you give her an inch, she'll take a fucking mile off your ass. I got random people looking at me, but anyways, you give her an inch, she'll take a mile off your ass. And so I had to continuously battle back and forth and continuously let her know, like, hey dude, me and you, we really ain't that close or whatever. We really ain't that close or whatever. And I constantly have to let her know, like, hey dude, I don't really fuck with you like that. Even though, you may be the grandmother, you may be this, that, and the third. I don't really, I don't really vibe with you like that. I don't really, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. There was just all this shit going on. My sister needed her cooking validated and all this other bullshit. The food was good though. I ain't gonna lie, it was food. It was food. It was good. But I wasn't really finna over validate and over hype her up and this, that, and the third about some goddamn food, man. I wasn't finna do all that. So I was like, you know what? Let me let shit play out. Let me let shit be. As soon as the friend of the family got over there, or as soon as I got there, the friend of the family, he left. He got the fuck on. He was like, fuck it, I'm out of here. And that was kind of that with him, which it probably didn't have anything to do with me, but whatever. And even if it did, I don't give a fuck. I got some weird ass stares a second ago. I was like, I got some random people talking, but whatever. That's why I'm looking back. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I getting a random weird ass stare when I'm minding my own business in a public park and no kids are around because it's too damn cold and it's during school hours? Y'all motherfuckers should be in school any fucking way, little motherfuckers. Like they was in high school or some shit. Man, take your ass to school, nigga. But in other news, yeah, I was like dealing with all this shit yesterday, and it's like, man, people, they don't change. They will never change. Like, no matter how low or high the scale is, they'll genuinely never change. Like, once people show you who they are, that's kind of who they are, I guess. But this is a lighter day. This is just me, coming to shoot a little bit of content because I'm still trying to get this out. I'm still trying to tell my story, and it's just so many goddamn layers, and it's so many things that I got to get comfortable and I got to get flexible talking about it and all of that, and then it'll start coming to me, and then we'll be able to put the shit in actual content with illustrations and shit on there, because as y'all may have known, I do the little fade in, fade out, and I add the little music and shit like that, whatever. But It's been Jordan. I'm gonna see you motherfuckers when I see you. If y'all want me to keep the face mask, don't keep the face mask. Whatever y'all want to do, however y'all want me to do it, doesn't matter. I just happen to have this shit on because, man, it's cold as a motherfucker outside. It's cold as a motherfucker, and I'm not trying to protect my face and shit from getting blasted by fucking wind. That's like a sidebar, whatever, but I'm just letting y'all know why I did the face mask shooting today. Not a shooting, but you fuck, man.